Pre-show, everyone.
That was the pre-show. That's all we have time for. It's 5:30 right now. All right, so welcome to the Elements of Harmony panel. We're going to go in just like we do in a real show, sort of. Which means everything's going to turn out terribly.
All downhill from here.
All right. So we start out our show like this, and Parchy's queued up because Parchy is our video editor. He's sitting back there, as well as Blue Storm, who's over here, our two video editors. But Parchy is handling live video for us for whatever we wind up sticking on the screen there. But yeah, so we all ready?
Ready. Y'all ready for this? Yeah, ready.
All right. Hey, this is Forest Rain.
6 string.
Snowblitz.
Zeta Prime.
Starlight Ironhoof.
And this is, in a second, this is, we're on the wrong track. I told you everything would go on. I saw 3 tracks there. I figured one was the one I needed. All right, well, we're going to do this a second time. This is going to turn out better. This is why we pre-record our shows.
Take 2.
We do live, but we don't do the intro live. All right, for real this time. I swear to Gerd. Hey, this is Forest Rain.
6 string. Snowblitz.
Zeta Prime.
Starlight Ironhoof.
And this is Elements of Harmony. Today on the show, we're coming at you from the Hall of the Sun at BronyCon, located in the sunny Baltimore Convention Center. We'll be discussing our show, which airs Tuesdays at 10 p.m. on Evergreen Network, as well as welcoming our featured guest, a very talented singer with a penchant for performing flawlessly in character voices. You may recognize her voice from a little show called My Little Pony Friendship is Magic as the singing voice of Rarity and Princess Luna. Please welcome to the show, Kazumi Evans. Kazumi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good. Better to be here, of course.
So should we apologize in advance?
Probably.
Well, you know, you kind of see how this works. We aren't always the most prepared.
Yeah, so we
okay.
have a thing for, you know, not being the greatest prepared people, but that's okay. We did prepare for you, though. I swear.
That's good.
Like,
It's a good start.
We at least looked you up on IMDb. Like, it's one of those things.
It's like we don't even know who you are, but you're just here now. So
Well,
okay.
that's usually how we lead things off. So for those people out there that have no idea what My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is and who the characters Rarity or Princess Luna are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just get up. Yeah, sorry, what was the question?
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself.
Who is Kazumi Evans?
Who is... Oh, well, okay. Well, my name is Kazumi Evans. I was born and raised in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Thank you.
It's nice to have a fellow Canadian.
Yeah.
Hi. I have been working on My Little Pony for almost 5 years now. And it's been such a great ride. I do other voiceover projects. That's my bread and butter for what I do for work. But my background is musical theater, and that was my first love and how it got me into this whole performing business. That's pretty much all you really need to know at this point, unless we have any questions from the crowd.
Oh. Well, we will have some time for questions from the crowd coming at the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, we'll do that at the way end.
Awesome.
We keep the questions to ourselves first so that we can answer all the questions that you already have.
Yeah, we like the hot
Yeah.
So,
Sorry,
Kazumi,
crowd.
you said that you first got started in music and theater. What was your first contact with music and theater? Did you start at like in elementary school or something?
No, I did singing just for fun. I just liked to sing as a kid, and I come from a family of non-artists. I don't know, I was on a cruise ship with my family one Christmas time, and I remember they had a kids talent show on the boat. And I ran to my mom, who was sunbathing on the deck, and I said, Mom, you have to make me a costume. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? I said, they're having a talent contest and I want to sing. And I wanted to sing the song Reflection from Mulan. And that was my favorite song, and that was the first song I ever auditioned with.
It's a very good song.
Yeah, it's a very good song, and I've been a fan of Leah Salonga, who sang it ever since. And so I was like, okay, well, we can't make you a costume, but okay, if you want to do this, fine. It was all very odd to her. And so then anyways, the talent contest came, and I sang the song, and afterwards, a woman came up to my mom and I and said, oh, well, you know, your daughter, she has a fairly good voice. I think she should take singing lessons. And she was an opera teacher, an opera singer herself, and taught singing. And my mom at the time was like, oh, no, she's not a singer. Like, you know, she just does it for fun. It's not something really serious. But after that was when I really asked my mom, like, I really pushed her to pursue singing. And that's how it started out. And it wasn't until, like, I was, you know, in my preteens, like 12, 13, that I started doing community theater and just doing it for fun and musical theater summer camps. And then, yeah, it just kind of took off from there.
And you said you did musical theater, so you did more than just singing.
Oh yeah, I started training professionally in ballet when I was 14 to be a professional ballet dancer in mind, which is fairly late for dancing, but I fell in love with it because I was also tap dancing at the same time. And yeah, so I have a large dance background, singing background, and of course with the acting, whether it was a little bit of film and TV, and also performing live on stage professionally in musicals.
Interesting.
Are there any musicals that really stand out that you performed in as your favorite?
As my favorite, recently or just ever?
Just ever.
Ever in your entire career.
West Side Story was definitely one. I played Maria. I was 18 at the time, but I'd love to do that role again. Recently, I did a musical called Avenue Q.
Which is the most elegant, masterful piece of art in modern times.
I think it's very well written, both the script and the music as well, and I played Christmas Eve in that one. Yeah, it was a blast, so definitely those are my top two, I think, so far in my professional career.
For those that don't know about Avenue Q, can you describe it a little bit?
Woo, okay.
It's interesting.
Yeah, no.
Just remember it is BronyCon.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to keep it PG here. It's not exactly a show I would be taking young children to, but it's kind of like a politically incorrect version of Sesame Street of a musical.
That sounds fun.
It really is good. I've seen it when I was younger.
Very clever, very well done.
How much of the performance of that did you do? Like, did you have to dress in the black suits and do like the puppet thing at all?
No, Christmas Eve is one of the human characters.
Okay.
Yeah, like what happened is like actually for those of you who know Shannon Chan Kent, who sings for Pinkie Pie in the show. She was cast in a professional production back in Vancouver with a company called the Arts Club. And anyways, what happened is, at the time we had the same agent, and she fell very sick and couldn't continue. And it ended up being a 100 performance run, and so she made it to performance 50. And of course, performing 8 shows a week, it's very hard physically, on your body and vocally, of course. And she just became too sick and she couldn't carry on. So I get a phone call randomly, and they said, okay, we need you. So I had 4 hours of rehearsal, learned the show in 4 hours, went on with the script, and then I did the last 50 performances and took over the run from her. So it was a great learning experience.
No pressure.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you really kind of discover what you're made of in a situation like that. But it was a great learning experience, and it was a great experience to be a part of that show and that cast, for sure.
How long have you did the Avenue Q? Like, how many performances and like how many years?
Avenue Q? No, it was just.
That was just an audition?
Yeah. Oh no, it was an audition. I did 50 performances of it.
Oh, 50 performances.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I actually have a question here. You said you took over the role from somebody. Would you say that that's harder, taking over a role from somebody instead of starting out one?
It can be, just because you don't have the rehearsal process to get yourself mentally and physically prepared. And also too, it's harder that way just because like I love the rehearsal process of a musical theater show, because then you get to develop your character over the few weeks that you have to rehearse it. But this one, it, you know, shot out of cannon, 4 hours, here you go. But because I had such a strong cast around me, it was easy for me to just slot myself in and really lock into that character right away. So that there was benefits and not such great benefits to it.
Is there anybody from Avenue Q that you think you learned a lot from?
Oh, absolutely. Like that whole cast, definitely, I learned from, because all of them were experienced veterans. They, you know, had been professionals for a while, and yeah, they're all very good at what they did, especially the people that did the puppeteering in it.
Where was this run? Was it in Vancouver?
It was
or
in
was
Vancouver,
it? Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your education. I see you have a bachelor's degree in opera performance.
I do.
We have notes on you.
Yeah, we have a lot.
We pay people to go out and dig up dirt. Yeah.
Not spy, but
I was wondering.
It's Sibsy. We just get Sibsy to check off on.
No problem. Yeah,
double
no,
agent.
I do.
yeah,
I have a degree in opera performance from the Vancouver Academy of Music.
Education.
Would you say that has that been, obviously I have a feeling that it's probably valuable in your career, but for people that are looking to pursue stuff like that, is that something that you would say is valuable, getting a degree like that in performance?
Absolutely, because I personally, like, this is just my personal opinion, I believe that the classics are the strongest basis you can have when it comes to the arts, whether it's dancing, so ballet, piano, like for any kind of musical instruments, and opera for singing. Because even if you don't decide to be an opera singer per se, you can take that technique and springboard off of it to do stuff like pop or, I guess, kind of more contemporary stuff. Whereas if you're trying to do it the opposite way around, then it's going to be a lot harder for you. So that's just my thinking about it, though.
So were performing arts always your go-to, or did you have a backup plan?
I didn't really have a backup plan. For me, ever since I was a kid, I didn't really know at the time that you could do it for a career, but that's all I wanted to do. And yeah, I've been very fortunate and very lucky in my career that that's what I have been doing for my job.
So you just kept chasing it, like you never stopped.
No, and I mean, of course, everybody goes through, has obstacles that they have to face. Like in this business, there's a lot of no's, door slammed in your face just because, you know, you're just not right. You're not the right height. You don't have green eyes. You know, they're just looking for a different voice or whatnot, whether it's musical theater or voiceover work. And but if it's what you love to do, you do just keep going.
Yeah, one quote that I really like, I don't remember who it's from, but the road to success is littered with failures.
Oh, absolutely. And it's how you, again, easier said than done, but it's how you take those failures. And, you know, I guess if there's one thing I feel like I am good at in life, it's getting back up. And I think, yeah, it's a valuable skill to have, just no matter what. Like my dad, when I was a kid, I rode horses a lot. And I remember the first time I got bucked off a horse, my dad gave me this book, and in the book, this girl gets bucked off a horse, and he wrote in it, because my dad used to ride horses a lot. He said, Kazumi, like, this has happened to me a lot, always get back on the horse. And that's always, horse. If anything,
First part of the night. Yeah, I know.
If anything through life, that's what stuck with me through the hard times, is always get back up. Always get back up on the horse.
That deserves applause. So speaking of failures, there's a song that we're featuring tonight that is not a failure. The song is a success, but the song is about failure, right?
Yes, yes.
Can you give us a little bit of a lead up to this song, Taylor?
Okay, well, what song is it?
Taylor the Latte Boy.
Well, Taylor the Latte Boy, it's not really a failure, I would say, but okay, I'll give you the background of it. Taylor the Latte Boy, it's about a girl. She meets this guy in Starbucks and she thinks he's really cute. She just falls in love with him, head over heels. And, you know, she writes some poems, and when you hear it, you think, oh, like, that's a really lovely melody, it's really sweet. And then I did this collaboration with Andy Stein, Ando Pony. And, you know, I showed him the song like, that the girl sings, and he's like, oh, that's really lovely. I was like, yeah. But there's a guy version of the song that's sung from Taylor's point of view, and you find out in Taylor's point of view that she's actually a stalker. Has been following him home and like serenading him, and it's really unwanted attention. So I guess, yeah, in that way, it is.
It's kind of, yeah.
It is kind of a failure.
Perspective counts for
But she doesn't think it is, because she's crazy.
So we don't have Andrew's part in this just because of time constraints, but we do have the first 4 minutes of the song. It's like an 8-minute song. So.
Yeah, no problem.
So move in. This is. Did Andrew produce this, by the way?
Well, I guess so. Yes, because like what happened is I just recorded it on GarageBand in my room in my house back in Vancouver, and I sent him the files, and then he just fiddled. I guess we did whatever with it, and then he recorded his part. Put it together and threw it up on YouTube.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is Kazumi Evans and Andrew Stein with Taylor the Latte Boy. You're listening to Elements of Harmony at BronyCon.
There's a boy who works at Starbucks who is very inspirational. He is very inspirational because of many things. I come in at 8:11 and he smiles and says, "How are you?" When he smiles and says, "How are you?" I could swear my heart grows wings. So today at 8:11 I decided I should meet him. I decided I should meet him in a proper formal way. So today at 8:11 when he smiled and said, "How are you?" I said, "Fine, and my name's Zumi." And he softly answered, "Hey." And I told him my name's Zumi, and thank you for the extra phone. And he said his name was Taylor, which provides the inspiration for this poem. Taylor, the latte boy, bring me Java, bring me joy. Oh, Taylor, the latte boy, I love him, I love him, I love him. So I like to get my nerve up and recite my poem musical. He would like the fact it's musical because he plays guitar. So today at 8:11, Taylor told me he was playing in a band down in the village, in the basement of a bar. And he smoothly flipped the lever to prepare my double latte. But for me he made it triple, and he didn't think I knew. But I saw him flip the lever. For me he made it triple, and I knew that triple latte meant that Taylor loved me too. I said, "What am I playing?" And thank you for the extra skill. He said, "Keep the 355 because this triple latte was on him." Taylor, the latte boy, bring me Java, bring me joy. Oh, Taylor, the latte boy, I love him, I love him, I love him. I used to be the kind of girl who'd run when love rushed toward her. But finally a voice whispered, "Love can be yours if you step up to the counter and order." Taylor, the latte boy, bring me Java, bring me joy. Oh, Taylor,
And that was Taylor the Latte Boy, the first half of it, a collaboration between Kazumi Evans and Mando Pony. So one thing that I found interesting is this was a collaboration piece with one of the fandom musicians. What made you want to seek a fandom musician out for this?
I didn't. Andy found me. We first met at Everfree Northwest the first year they did it, so that would have been 2012, I believe. And yeah, we got along really well, and he just was like, and I don't know, he just, we added each other on Twitter, and so then we were talking, I had heard him play at Everfree, and so then he just said, hey, like, would you be interested in doing a collaboration? I was like, yeah, actually, that'd be really fun. So we threw a few ideas back and forth for a few months, and then finally I was just like, you know what, I think we really need to do, I think we really need to do this. I think it'd just be really funny because we both get our own little bits. It's a funny piece. It's a nice piece that both of us could sing fairly well. It fit our voices well. So yeah, that's how that came about, really.
And I mean, this really seems like a nice satire song about your traditional love song. I mean, you know, Avenue Q being one of your favorite musicals, I would say it's safe to assume you love satire.
I do have, well, I'd like to think, like, it's a rather, yeah, I have a large sense of humor. Yeah, and yeah, satirical sense of humor for sure.
No, it's good. Sense of humor is really good. I mean, feel a lot.
Like,
No, it's not.
What really sells it is just how amazingly done the vocals are.
Oh, thank you.
That kind of humor just won't work if you're not very good at what you're doing, and that's just fantastic.
It reminds me of a drama thing, actually. One of my teachers, I remember when I was in school, was saying that no matter what kind of drama you're doing or what kind of performance it is, if you have something to do, like in your blocking or whatever, if you have a task to do, really do it. And like completely focus on it, actually do it. If you're focusing on washing dishes but you're miming it, completely think about every way you're washing the dishes and everything. And it's the same kind of thing with this. You have to really commit to the emotions and the feeling, even if it's completely satire, but that's what makes it good.
Oh, absolutely. And like, I guess the thing with comedy is not to, as an actor, even though, like, you know, it's funny when you read the script or you read the lyrics and whatnot, you're like, oh, that's funny. At the same time, it's not to kind of give it away before it's out, like, to not acknowledge it. Because that's actually what's more funny about it. It's like, oh, like, you know, she's really serious in her emotions, but at the same time, us as an audience, like, it's up to us to be like, oh, that's hilarious because she's a stalker. Oh. So.
Stalkers are funny. Stalkers are always funny.
I think, to be honest,
in this case, it is.
Like, when you're listening to this, knowing that, you know, the female part is a stalker, it becomes really sort of ominous. And it comes across actually in your performance, because if you listen closely, you can hear this sort of underlying, like, feel of desperation.
Well, how many times did you say, I love him?
Yeah.
I love him. I love him.
Okay, so maybe not so subtle, but...
And yeah, and it's funny, like, if you already do kind of know the background to the song, like, and especially if it's sung rather sweetly, or it's actually quite a beautiful melody, then that's what makes it even more ironic and really funny at the same time, because it's not dark or ominous at all. It's quite light and lyrical.
One of the things about it that really strikes me is that I feel like this need to look at you when I'm asking questions.
I know. Like, all I'm seeing is like Tim's head. Like,
I'm sorry.
There we go. Now I see you.
Now I just see snowblitz.
Stop being short.
I'm not that tall. All right, but one of the interesting things is that one of the people that's known for singing this song originally was Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys seem to have a very kind of similar personality. I
think she's funnier, but...
She is. She's, like, I've seen her on Ellen a few times and stuff, and she's always hilarious. But she always has like that really, like, bubbly personality that's ready to go.
Yeah, slightly frenetic. No, I'm saying that about myself, not Kristen Chenoweth. But no, Kristen Chenoweth is a performer I admire. I think she's very intelligent. I think she's extremely talented and very unique because, yeah, she has a very unique look. She has a very distinctive voice.
For those of you that don't know Kristen Chenoweth, I mispronounced her name, you know. Chenoweth, she's from, if you've ever seen or listened to Wicked, she is Glinda. So that gives you an idea as to who she is. That's probably the most notable part, I think, right now that is out there.
That's definitely what put her on the map. She did a whole bunch of Broadway productions before that, like the revival of Charlie Brown and A New Brain, yeah, all sorts of productions. But yeah, definitely Wicked was what put it on the map for sure.
Now let's go to this awesome thing that you did on CBS, Triple Sensation. Can you,
CBC. Yeah.
CBC.
Yeah,
Canadian Broadcasting
CBC.
Center.
I'm sorry.
Here in America, we only have CBS.
Yeah, we only have CBS, not CBC. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Oh, yeah,
how you,
for sure.
How you got on there?
Triple Sensation.
Yeah, that was a show, like, it's been a while. I was 17 at the time when I auditioned for that. And what it was a nationwide search for 12 kids, I guess, between the age of 17 and 25, to take masterclass with the best teachers in musical theater, or just singing, dancing, and acting from around the world. And yeah, I auditioned for it, and I made it to the top 12, and I made it to the final 6. But yeah, it was just an experience at the time. Like, I was so young, I don't even think I fully appreciated it then. Like, I did, but not to the full extent that I would now, just because I was so young when I had this experience. And you know, some of the panelists were Marvin Hamlish, Adrian Noble, who was the past artistic director of the Royal Shakespeare Company in England, Sergio Trujillo, who's been a choreographer on Broadway, like Jersey Boys and such productions like that, and Garth Drabinsky was one of them as well, and he produced the show. And yeah, it was just an experience that changed my life, because at that point I was studying ballet very seriously, and I was thinking, oh, like, I'd like to be a ballet dancer. But at that point, that summer, because I had a choice, because I had a scholarship to go to the Atlanta Ballet Summer School, and then I got Triple Sensation. And yeah, I didn't even have to think about what I wanted to do, and that was that.
Since you were a little bit young at the time, is there any one particular thing or any particular one person you think you learned the most from, or something you learned the most about?
Master teachers at that
Yeah.
point?
Mm-hmm.
There was an acting teacher there called Larry Moss, a very well-known acting coach in LA. And yeah, I felt from him, like, he was very, he really taught me, I felt, to just not try to make things happen so much when you act on stage. Because I think as actors, like, especially when you're a young actor, you want to emote and just put yourself out there and really make the audience see that you're emoting and working really hard at your job. But he was the one that really instilled in me, I feel, and I'm still working on to this day. I mean, acting, this whole craft that we do, like, it's a lifelong journey. But he was the one that I felt really instilled in me, just to really focus on what the message of the story is. And if you focus on that as an actor and do your homework, then the rest will come. You don't have to, you know, force yourself on the audience.
Do you still keep in touch with the other contestants? Or?
Oh yeah, no, all 12 of us, became quite close throughout, because, I mean, a process like that, it took place in Toronto, you're living together, you're studying together, and it was, you know, we all became very close. And yeah, to this day, like, if I see someone at an audition or we're on a project together, yeah, it's like no time's passed at all. It's great.
How many contestants were on the show before it got down to 12?
Well, I mean, they did a whole nationwide audition, a few audition rounds across the country, and then from across the country, they picked 12. And from the 12, we were sent to Toronto to do masterclass, and as masterclass went on, they cut people. And the final 6 were the ones that got to perform the final performance, and the top 3 were given scholarships.
That's impressive.
Wow, that's really impressive.
How much did you participate in the performance stuff in Toronto? Did you ever go to, like, Second City or any of that stuff in the course of being in Toronto?
Like, aside from doing all the, like, sorry, I don't really understand the question.
Like, just the performance stuff in Toronto, there's a lot of performance venues, and Second City created SCTV, which is a big TV show that happened, I think, what, in the 70s?
Okay.
70s, 80s?
Well, no, while we were there, it was a very intense period of time, so we only focused really on the master class.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't really go out much when I was there, for sure.
I have a quick question. We have been talking a lot about performance in theater, but you are the singing voice of Rarity, which obviously is an animated character. And
Not to mention Luna.
Yeah, and Rarity and Luna, you're not on the stage, but you're, you know, in a booth, and you're so when you're doing a recording for My Little Pony, do you feel like you take a different approach to getting prepared and everything, than versus like doing a performance on stage?
Oh, absolutely. Because when you're doing voiceover work, it's just you and the mic. It's just you and your voice. Whereas I think when you're performing live, like, you know, you're very conscious about how you look, you're conscious of like what your body is doing and the placement of it. So pretty much like for voiceover stuff, it's just making sure my voice is warm, at least for singing, well, for speaking as well, but especially for singing, that my voice is warm. Just really preparing the music, knowing your stuff, and just really concentrating on what the message of the song is and knowing where it comes in the script.
Do you feel more comfortable doing like voiceover or theater? Which do you feel more comfortable in? What kind of environment?
They're both very different kettles of fish, but I love the thrill of performing live, and that gives me a certain level of comfort because it's what I really know. But voiceover, it's kind of nice because, I don't know, you can do as many takes as you like. So if you're like, oh, that was a really bad take, I think I'll just do another one. So in that sense, there's a lot more comfort to it because with, of course, live performance, there are no take backs. There is no second take. It's like, that's it.
What does the what's the process like? Like, how closely do you work with Daniel? How much space do you have from the time that you actually get the music or lyrics to the time that you actually begin recording?
It depends on the session or the song, but usually it's a few days. Anywhere from a week would probably be the longest, until like 2 days before. And so just learn it really quickly. Like, you have the music on a music stand in front of you, and then Daniel's on the other side of the glass with the other producers and writers of the show. And yeah, so, and then he has a little button on his side of the glass, and he'll be like, oh, okay, can you fix this, or do that. So yeah, but Daniel and I, we work fairly closely when we're recording.
Okay.
So according to our informant, we have information that you won the Ovation Outstanding Newcomer Award in 2007. So can you tell us a little bit about that, like what you actually had to do to...
Sorry?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
The voices in your ear?
No, the Ovation Awards, they're musical theater awards within Vancouver. And I won that for my performance as Maria in West Side Story back in the day.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Going back to the voiceover, coming from the theatrical background, what actually attracted you toward voiceover work?
Oh, well, it was just the agency I was with. It was kind of a fluke, because when I first joined up with my old agent, he asked me, like, okay, are you, you obviously want to do some film and TV and musical theater? Yep, okay. Are you interested in voiceover work? And I said, oh, okay, like cartoons? And he said, yeah. And I said, oh, yeah, no, that sounds like fun. And so I went out on a few auditions, and then I auditioned for My Little Pony, and originally I went in to be the singing voice of Twilight Sparkle. But Daniel at the time said, oh, you kind of sound like Rarity. And a few weeks later, I found out that I landed Rarity, and ever since then, like, just the voiceover part of my career has taken off.
Did you audition for any other besides?
No, it was just Daniel invited me over to audition, and it was at his old apartment there, and he had his home studio at his apartment, and he just taught me in a matter of minutes the My Little Pony theme song, and he's like, okay, sing it. So I did, and yeah, originally they told me like singing voice of Twilight Sparkle, and then he was like, actually you sound like Rarity, and that's how it happened.
It's really interesting, like when you audition, like for that.
Right?
I mean, like, no, when you go to audition and you, like,
for one
character that you really wanted, and then they say no, but then they make you come back for another character.
Yeah, well, like it is always interesting, and of course, like at the time, we had no idea that the show was going to blow up the way it did. So it's kind of funny looking back now, because I associate Twilight, of course, with Tara and with Rebecca. And so it's kind of odd for me to think back now. It's like, oh, like the singing voice of Twilight Sparkle, and I'm really happy to have gotten Rarity, but like who'd have known back then? Like I didn't know the difference, so I was like, okay, you know, I was just happy to be on the show.
Now, like in voiceover work, how often does that happen? Like when you audition for one character and get another? Because I hear stories about it like all the time.
Oh yeah.
How often do you think that happens?
Quite a lot. Like there'll be, there's lots of times I've gone into the room for various other shows I've been on, and I thought I was perfect for this, and I heard that the director or the production company was really looking at me for one character, and then, you know, but I was called back for something else, and so I'll just read it because it's like, oh yeah, you know, it's great, like, because sometimes voice actors can play more than one character on a show, and then lo and behold, you book the one that you didn't think you were as strong as. Like, it's funny.
All right, well, I think I speak for everyone. I'm going to gush, because that's what we do. We're really glad that you got to sing voice.
Thank you.
No, it's
Yes.
really awesome.
And speaking of Rarity, we're going to go into our next song break, and we're going to listen to Rarity Takes Manhattan, or the Generosity song from MLP. And once again, you're listening to Elements of Harmony live at BronyCon.
I know! Ponies just bursting into song in random places at the drop of a hat? Who does that? Oh, Manhattan, what you do to me? Such a huge, bustling community. And there's always opportunity to do the friendly thing. If some are grouchy, pay no mind. Surprise instead with something kind. Lo and behold, you may just find a smile is what you bring.
Welcome to the main fair hotel. Please allow me to take those bags to your room for you.
Only if you accept this gratuity first.
Oh, I'll get you changed.
Don't keep it all, I insist. Generosity, I'm here to show all that I can give. Generosity, I'm here to set the bar. Just sit back and watch how I live. After you.
Why, thank you.
Please, take mine.
Wow, okay.
Some may say, Rarity, don't be so big-hearted and bold, treating strangers like their friends. This town's too big and cold. But this is how I play my cards. I'm not about to fold. Where I see a frown, I go to town. Call me the Smile Patrol. Oh, Manhattan, what you do to us? What if you find a gloomy glass? It's no intimidating thing. Just be kind without a fuss. Generosity, I'm here to show all that I can do. Generosity, you are the key. Manhattan, I'm here just for you. Just for you.
Like, you know the parts where you say, where he's talking to a bellhop and then someone on top of the Statue of Liberty, and she's like, why, thank you, and okay. Like, that's Daniel Ingram, and in the demo, it's hilarious because it was in the demo, and I thought it was hilarious, and I was like, you should keep that, and they ended up keeping it. So, just for those who didn't know, it was pretty funny.
Danny just said, well, Kazumi said.
You know, just for that episode, I just want to say, it's not accurate. Because I live in New York, and it's definitely not that accurate. Nobody's that
I've been to New York twice, and I knew it wasn't accurate.
The only one that's accurate is that taxi driver.
Oh, hey, this was Pony New York.
Yeah. All right,
It was
and...
Pony Manhattan, so.
Yeah, Manhattan.
So I'm going to bring us into our next segment, which is EOH history. And obviously at the beginning of the panel when I asked how many of you have actually seen our show, go ahead and raise your hand if you've seen our show before.
Wow.
So that's more than the
Okay, that's infinitely better
That's
than we
really
were
more than what I thought
originally.
was going to happen.
It's actually a fair amount of people.
Although most of them are our staff.
Okay, so anybody that's EOH staff, stand up.
That means you, Parchi.
Yeah, Barchi. Yeah.
That wasn't a good point to prove that's
So
like,
real quick,
there's a few.
everybody who's EOH, can you please stand up again? All right, so we have Parchi, who is our video editor.
praise him.
We have
Princess Bacon Man.
we have Bashscript, who is our everything engineer. He does everything.
Yes, praise
He
him.
created the infamous zapdata.com.
We have Dice, who does our PR and a bunch of other things for us. He's been tweeting. And we have Infinite, who is my co-producer.
He doesn't really He doesn't do much of anything.
He's also our janitor as well.
And obviously we have Slipstorm, who is our backup host when one of us can't make it, and also our video editor.
Or when Zeta's asleep.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
And obviously, you already know 4-string, 6-string, Snowblitz, myself, Zeta, and Starlight Iron Hood.
I don't know any of you guys.
It's alright, I pretend not to know you as well.
Yeah.
But to give a little quick brief history, this show, actually, Slip, go ahead and give the mic to Infinite real quick.
Infinite, come here.
Infinite,
I
come
don't
on
wanna
down!
Because this show originally
You need
started
your
as
exercise.
2 separate shows. It was originally the Inspiration Show, which was Forrest and I and another host that we used to have, Raximus, and Infinite, who had a bunch of the other people who were on stage, Six, Snow, and Tim.
Yeah, what is a stave? Can you define stave?
I really like whiskey. I can tell you what a stave is.
Did Zeta just fall asleep? I can fix this.
Oh, I thought you were gonna get it back on rail. Okay, well, staves are the individual parts that make up a
Just
barrel.
let you guys know, there actually is a website that is zapzeta.com. If you go, there's a button you can click and it zaps me.
It's almost like cookie clicker.
There's
but
currently
way
over
better.
250,000 clicks.
But yeah, so for basically what you've seen so far is pretty much how our shows generally go. For our pre-recorded shows, we interview musicians from the fandom. We kind of get at the heart of the inspirations behind their music and technical elements of it as well. During the summer, we've been more
Lazy.
lazy.
People have been busy, so we've been doing live stuff and kind of improvising more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of do a half live, half recorded. Most of it is pre-recorded. It's usually about every, whenever.
It kind of just depends on how it's
We're experimenting with different show styles and stuff like that too. And we like to do shows where we feature just recent music from the fandom. And we did one recently, which I really liked, that I'd like to do again, where we featured music from artists that have less than 1,000 subs, which is fantastic because it's really hard to get promotion. Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah, that guy, right?
That guy. We're featuring this guy's music.
Yeah, that guy.
But yeah, it's really hard to get promotion and stuff when you don't have a venue to showcase these things. So that's why we like to do this kind of thing. And this is why we really wanted to do a show like this, where we could, showcase the music from the fandom in an interesting and creative way.
Yeah, because there's just a lot of talent in music right now. And there's many people that are getting noticed in this fandom. They're really good, and we just want to bring them out into the spotlight. That's the thing.
We about 15 minutes left. We should move into a tech talk real quick.
Yeah. Yes.
And so for tech talk, we just wanted to kind of discuss with Kazumi basically aspects of singing in character, the ways you can prepare for that, and just maintenance and taking care of your voice, really.
Okay, well, maintenance and taking care of your voice. Good night's sleep is always good. Not partying on the town the night before a job is always a good idea. And yeah, drinking a lot of fluids, not drinking anything citrusy or of anything dairy substance before you're scheduled to go on. And yeah, just making sure you're really well warmed up before going into a session. It's always going to help you.
I actually find it interesting you said nothing citrusy, because a lot of people use lemons for voice, and I've always read that's actually kind of a double-edged sword. It does help a bit, but it also takes away.
Well, it depends on how much amount you take.
It can be
Absolutely, and how close to the actual performance you're actually going for. But I know, like a lot of, say, people I went to opera school, they would avoid anything citrusy because actually citrus, it makes your vocal cords shut up and, yeah, like compress.
Yeah. One of the things that I was told with musical theater, always from like choreographers and stuff, is to drink like, what is it, 6 to 8 bottles of water every day?
Well, I haven't really heard...
Nothing specific?
I haven't really heard anything specific. I think it's just drink when you're thirsty, stop when you're full. You obviously don't want to overdo it because you're not going to be able to jump or turn or get off the ground if you drink too much or just going to the bathroom in the middle of the show.
And it has to be like room temperature, not cold.
Well, closer to your body temperature, your body absorbs it better.
Well, again, I mean, there was never any specific temperatures. I'd like my water at this temperature, please.
What about, what about tea? Because I usually drink tea with honey.
Oh yeah, honey, yeah, is always a good thing to be putting in your beverages because it coats the throat. It makes, yeah, it feels nice. It definitely, if you have a sore throat, it makes it feel a lot better.
Yeah, whenever I get sore throats quite often actually, and when I usually like to drink lemonade. Lemonade seems to really help with my throat.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's whatever really works for you. There's no rhyme or, well, there's not any strict rules to what you should do. And if you stray outside the rules, then lightning shall strike you. It's not like that at all. It's like you have to do what's good for you and your instrument.
What about, sorry, so, I was just going to ask about vocal exercises specifically.
Scales.
Scales?
Scales. I mean, it's like any instrument, right? Your voice is no different. Scales are the base for your training and what you're going to need for warming up.
And would you be willing to demonstrate?
It doesn't matter which scale, it really doesn't.
You've done musical theater, right? We can do them with you.
Are you going to let me do it or not?
All right, yes. Go.
Going back to singing in character voice, how is that different from singing in just your normal voice? You know, because you're trying to imitate a character. Do you ever try to speak as that character first, then sing it? Or?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Especially if, like in this case, because I don't speak for Rarity and Luna, like I do listen to a lot of YouTube tracks of what Tabitha does, and then try to emulate that. It's a lot harder to a certain degree to change up your voice, your singing voice, as opposed to your speaking voice. It's a lot easier to do that because your voice is just more flexible. Whereas your placement for when you're singing is very much different from your speaking voice. But yeah, in terms of Rarity or Luna, it's just listening to a lot of what Tabitha does, and I've heard a lot of her Rarity, especially. I've worked with Rarity a lot longer than I have with Luna, and then you just try to emulate that within the singing. So like, Luna is a lot darker and richer of a tone than Rarity is, whereas Rarity is more up here and, a lot higher, and she has a little bit of that English accent, where Luna's further down into the basement a bit.
All right. No. And if you do watch our show, you know there's one question that I always love to ask. What would you say is probably some advice that you could give to others who want to get into a similar role as you, either performing in theater or doing voiceover and singing? What is a couple of pieces of advice that you could give?
I would start off, like I started off in community theater. I think it's great practice. It's not pain, of course, but at the same time, it's great practice. And it's like anything, practice makes perfect. And just audition and train, like get the best training you can, and just keep auditioning. Because a lot, unfortunately, in this business, or in life in general, it's being in the right place at the right time. But it's the everyday work that you put into your craft that is going to put you in a position to be in the right place at the right time, if you know what I mean. So it's just, yeah, build up your skills and just keep trying. And if it's your dream and you love it, then always get back up on the horse. Don't give up.
Thank you, Kazumi Evans.
Also, I love that part. I just love when they get back on the horse and rap BronyCon.
No pun intended.
Anyways, Kazumi has to be leaving now because she has a place she needs to be. Thank you very much for joining us on our panel.
Thank you. Everyone give a round of applause.
And now you're stuck with us.
And now this should have been when we did our history section.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's just
live
like when
shows.
we do our live shows.
It's how
We
live
just
shows
get it
work
wrong.
out. Did anybody have any questions for us or, you know, musical stuff, anything like that? We'll have Sliff and, do we have anybody else with the mic? No?
Sliff, run around the room.
Just Sliff.
I don't want
Sliff
them
running
to
around.
have to get up. You do the work.
I'm running around with the mic now, so direct me.
Wherever you want.
Right there.
Or you.
I think I know that guy.
Ask a question.
That guy.
Hey guys,
Hey. Hi.
I'm Starlight Ironhoof. You met me in Memphis a while
Yep,
back.
I remember you.
Hey, so I'm in a band called the Equine Project, and what's some advice to get our music out there, like on your show, other shows, heard online, that kind of thing?
Email it to us.
Well, yeah, there's that. But befriend one of us because we have potential to play it on Everfree. Really develop contacts within the community, make friends with people. Friendship really is magic when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
What I've always said is that success is 50% who you know and 50% what you know. So you really need to, networking is one of the biggest and most important things you can do in your life in anything that you want to find success in.
Yeah,
Definitely.
totally. So get your stuff out on YouTube, send the link to everybody you know, do the feather thing and say, hey, can I collab with you and you and you and you and you and you and you? And then, you know, more people know who you are that way.
And it works. Everybody loves that.
It's the same thing I did.
Yeah, it
I was
works.
like, hey, I'm going to do a thing called the Massive Smile Project and get everybody I can think of to sing on it.
And you just grab so many names.
Yeah, it's exactly, yeah. And everybody's pretty friendly. Like most people, if you're like, hey, will you collab with me and do a thing? And if you know, have something actually set out, you're like, hey, this is my music, this is what I'm doing. See if we can work together. Then a lot of people will be good to that.
Thank you. Hey, Forrest, want to collab one time?
Sure!
Sliff. He has hands up for a while.
Okay.
Walk fast.
Yeah, we have 8 minutes, come on.
Run.
Run, go.
Come on, chop chop!
Hey there.
Hi.
So I get to meet y'all like way back, right after his episode. I'm gonna say that was
That was the 4th episode. I have no idea.
Yeah, that was number 4.
Yeah, there we
that
go.
was a long time ago, and you had longer hair, Snowblitz.
Wait. What?
Which one?
Which one? Who had longer hair?
He said snow.
I had longer hair?
Don't you remember these things, Snow?
I think you
What
might
was
be
the
wearing a
question?
wig.
I didn't come
I've
in
been thinking
until...
it Forrest then.
No, it must be 4th because I didn't come in until the DB pony. I think that was like 8 or 7 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, that was episode.
Something. Anyway, continue.
Something like
We have to clear her out soon
Well, I
because
just
silly
gotta
Philly's
say
lining
that
up
y'all are
outside.
great.
Yeah, we got 7.
I just want to say that y'all are great.
Thank you.
Archie's great. You're great.
Aw.
Thank you.
Oh,
Who else?
We're gonna do
Way to go,
front row
everybody.
somewhere.
How about...
This is the wonderful producing our producer does.
Hey now. Hey guys.
Property damage to the BCC. Thank you. Actually, it's not property damage. It's just water on the
Kim,
glass.
we have a question.
First of all, I just want to say that all of you are great. You're all very talented, and
Don't lie.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be sitting here right now, and you guys are so just okay. Anyway, I have a question for Forrest Rain, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah.
What do you think is the best song that you have done? Like,
My thoughts on that are always the last song I've ever done. So anytime anybody asks about like, you know, favorite songs and stuff like that, it's always going to be the last song I did because I feel like this. Wow, that was talent. Thank you. It's always going to be like, I feel like hopefully I'm progressing as an artist as I keep doing stuff. But I don't know, like probably the song that touched the most people would be Great to Be Different, and like being inspired to do that by her. Fantastic. We can fit like one more question.
All right.
Maybe 2.
Yeah,
Maybe two.
no.
We'll see if they're short questions.
Yeah.
Quick question, Forrest. I've heard from a few sources you do a great Gilbert Gottfried impression.
Oh. I just want to know if it's true or not, Not really, no.
No, okay, so we did a special where we made fun of Final Draft because we could. So we had a character on there called
Mike Bernstein.
Because his real name is Mike Bernstein.
Yeah.
Go look him up
Dr.
in
Bernstein.
go look up.
So yeah, the Gilbert Gottfried comes out. Usually when it comes out, I say things that I shouldn't say in here, so I'm going to try to restrict it as much as possible.
But thank you for bringing it up.
The sad thing is that Final Draft, I don't think is even still here. They
No.
were just making fun of him. So
No, he had to leave.
we're all sorts of sad now.
It's okay, we don't really like him.
Speak for yourself. I love draft.
I guess. I think that's his face.
All right.
Oh, I get it.
All right. Last question.
Oh, well.
I'm tired. I have.
I actually have a question for Forrest. I love the track "Join the Herd." The new one is awesome, man.
The remastered?
Yes, the remastered is amazing.
Thank you.
And I kind of wondered what inspired you to cover "You Gonna Go Far, Kid." With
I saw the PMV. The one with Rainbow Dash where it was sped up to be 20% cooler.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, I watched this. I'm like, this is great. I need to do something like this. Let's do a parody. Yeah. One more quick
Question, are you guys going to be doing autographs after this?
answer. Yes. All right. So we're gonna leave. This has been Elements of Harmony. I'm gonna play something from our special. You have a question for the audience.
Archie has a question?
has a question for the audience.
All right, a lot of you have seen the show. This is actually Six's question. Is it? He didn't ask Kazumi.
Oh.
So I want to hear, round of applause. Who here likes bassists? Now who here would rather have a mini fridge?
Okay, hold on. We gotta do this the right way. Raise your hand for mini fridge.
Don't count. We don't have enough time for that.
Put all your hands down. Raise your hand for bass player. Mini fridge wins.
So, Larson had something to say.
Oh yeah.
Larson had something to say on that topic about the auction.
Other staff member. This is Larson. He's audio editor guy.
Hi there, guys.
And we love him.
He also owns the goldfish.
In a world of goldfish, but
Well, actually, the goldfish owns him.
something like that. In any case, during the charity auction, we auctioned off this bass amplifier, and I made the mistake of saying on stage, "Yeah, it's a mini fridge," and Dusty repeated to the whole crowd.
Wow. All right. So to take us out, we are going to play something from our special. Which, if you guys have ever seen Axis of Awesome, they did this thing called 4 chords. We did a Brony version of this. This is Are We There Yet? Brackets 4 chords.
Oh no.
I don't want to listen.
Good night, everybody.